Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nautilus. I hope you're all having a good time. This is the channel dedicated to art and creativity, and all things awesome and entertaining. Welcome back to Minecraft Creative. I downloaded the newest version, and I still have an old computer, so I apologize if it's pretty janky, but I did what I could. For today's video, we're gonna take it nice and easy. We're gonna just kind of chill out. I have with me a book by one of my favorite authors, Dean Koontz. He is a suspenseful and psychological thriller and horror writer. One of my favorite books from him happens to be the book Midnight. It was so good. And, I enjoy it. It's so nice. So, we're going to be reading from one of his other books. I happen to have a second book here called Winter Moon. Winter Moon. So, this is going to be part 1, The City of the Dying Day. And it says here, beaches, surfers, California girls, wind-scented with fabulous dreams. Bougainvillea, groves and oranges, stars are born, everything gleams. A weather change, shadows fall, new scent upon the wind, decay. Cocaine, Uzis, drive-by shootings, death is a banker. Everyone pays. From the Book of Counted Sorrows. That's a nice little beginning to this, I guess. We begin with chapter 1. Death was driving an emerald green Lexus. It pulled off the street, past the 4 self-service pumps, and stopped in one of the 2 full-service lanes. Standing in front of the station, Jack McGarvey noticed the car but not the driver. Even under a bruised and swollen sky that hid the sun, the Lexus gleamed like a jewel, a sleek and lustrous machine. By the way, before I continue, please consider subscribing, clicking that bell, and that'll notify you of all my future uploads, and hopefully you guys enjoy what I'm doing here. I really enjoy what I'm doing here as well. Let's continue, huh? The windows were darkly tinted, so he couldn't have seen the driver clearly even if he had tried. As a 32-year-old cop with a wife, a child, and a big mortgage, Jack had no prospects of buying an expensive luxury car. But he didn't envy the owner of the Lexus. He often remembered his dad's admonition that envy was a mental theft. If you coveted another man's possessions, Dad said, then you should be willing to take on his responsibilities, heartaches, and troubles along with his money. He stared at the car for a moment, admiring it as he might a priceless painting at the Getty Museum, or a first edition of a James M. Cain novel in pristine dust jacket, with no strong desire to possess it, taking pleasure merely from the fact of its existence. Excuse me. In a society that often seemed to be spinning toward anarchy, where ugliness and decay made new inroads every day, his spirits were lifted by any proof that the hands of men and women were capable of producing things of beauty and quality. The Lexus, of course, was an import, designed and manufactured on foreign shores. However, it was the entire human species that seemed damned, not just his countrymen, and evidence of standards and dedication was heartening regardless of where he found it. Dean Koontz is an incredible novelist. He knows how to use his words. And that book, Midnight, that he wrote, it's one of my all-time favorites. Let us continue. An attendant in a gray uniform hurried out of the office and approached the gleaming car, and Jack gave his full attention once more to Assam Arcadian. My station is an island of cleanliness in a filthy sea, an eye of sanity in a storm of madness, Arcadian said, speaking earnestly, unaware of sounding melodramatic. He was slender, about 40, with dark hair and a neatly trimmed mustache. The creases in the legs of his gray cotton work pants were knife-sharp, and his matching work shirt and jacket were immaculate. Guy obviously takes very good care of himself and likes to dress appropriately for his job. He obviously cares about what he does. This isn't in the book, I'm just stating something. We continue. I had the aluminum siding and the brick treated with a new sealant, he said, indicating the facade of the service station with a sweep of his arm. Paint won't stick to it, not even metallic paint. Wasn't cheap. But now when these gang kids or crazy stupid taggers come around at night and spray their trash all over the walls, we scrub it right off the next morning. With his meticulous grooming, singular intensity, and quick, slender hands, Arcadian might have been a surgeon about to begin his workday in an operating theater. He was, instead, the owner-operator of the service station. Do you know, he said incredulously, there are professors who have written books on the value of graffiti. The value of graffiti? The value? They call it street art, said Luther Bryson, Jack's partner. Arcadian gazed up disbelievingly at the towering black cop. You think what these punks do is art? Hey, no, not me, Luther said. At 6'3", 210 pounds, he was 2 inches taller than Jack and 40 pounds heavier, with maybe 8 inches and 70 pounds on Arcadian. Though he was a good partner and a good man, his granite face seemed incapable of the flexibility required for a smile. His deeply set eyes were unwaveringly forthright. My Malcolm X glare, he called it. With or without his uniform, Luther Bryson could intimidate anyone from the Pope to a purse snatcher. We're getting somewhere. This is good so far. He wasn't using the glare now, wasn't trying to intimidate Arcadian, was in complete agreement with him. Not me. I'm just saying that what the candy-ass crowd calls it. Street art. The service station owner said, These are professors, educated men and women, doctors of art and literature. They have the benefit of an education my parents couldn't afford to give me, but they're stupid. There's no other word for it. Stupid, stupid, stupid. His expressive face revealed the frustrations and anger that Jack encountered with increasing frequency in the City of Angels. What fools do universities produce these days? Arcadian had labored to make his operation special, bracketing the property with wedge-shaped brick planters, in which grew queen palms, azaleas laden with clusters of red flowers, and impatiens in pinks and purples. There was no grime, no litter. The portico covering the pumps was supported by brick columns, and the whole station had a quaint colonial appearance. Ah, how nice. In any age, the station would have seemed misplaced in Los Angeles. Freshly painted and clean, it was doubly out of place in the grunge that had been spreading like a malignancy through the city during the 90s. Come on, come look, Arcadian said, and headed toward the south end of the building. Poor guy's gonna blow out an artery in the brain over this, Luther said. Somebody should tell him it's not fashionable to give a damn these days, Jack said. A low and menacing rumble of thunder rolled through the distended sky. Can't believe I got that right the first time. This is the first time I'm reading this, by the way. All credit goes to Dean Koontz, the author. Looking at the dark clouds, Luther said, Weatherman predicted it wouldn't rain today. Maybe it wasn't thunder. Maybe somebody finally blew up City Hall. You think? Well, if the place was full of politicians, Luther said, we should take the rest of the day off. Find a bar, do some celebrating. Come on, officers, Arcadian called to them. He had reached the south corner of the building, near where they had parked their patrol car. Look at this. I want you to see this. I want you to see my bathrooms. His bathrooms? Luther said. Jack laughed. Hell, you got anything better to do? A lot safer than chasing bad guys, Luther said, following Arcadian. Jack glanced at the Lexus again. Nice machine. 0 to 60 in how many seconds? 8? 7? Must handle like a dream. That's actually not that good. If it does it in like 8 seconds, that's like driving a Corolla. Just saying. I'm not busting the the chops of the author. I'm just saying it's not really that impressive. Okay, never mind. The driver had gotten out of the car and was standing beside it. Jack noticed little about the guy, only that he was wearing a loose-fitting, double-breasted Armani suit. The Lexus, on the other hand, had wire wheels and chrome guards around the wheel wells. Wow, got that the first time. Reflections of storm clouds moved slowly across its windshield and made mysterious smoky patterns in the depths of its jewel-green finish. Sighing, Jack followed Luther past the 2 open bays of the repair garage. The first stall was empty, but a gray BMW was on the hydraulic lift in the second space. A young Asian man in mechanic's coveralls was at work on the car. Tools and supplies were neatly racked along the walls, floor to ceiling, and the 2 bays looked cleaner than the average kitchen in a 4-star restaurant. The sky is tidy. At the corner of the building stood a pair of soft drink vending machines. They purred and clinked as if formulating and bottling the beverages within their own. Ooh. We got a little. Ooh. Oh my god, cliffhanger. Within their own guts. Oh, there it is. It was on the same page and I just didn't see it. I think my thumb was covering guts. Around the corner were the men's and women's restrooms, where Arcadian had opened both doors. Take a look. Go ahead. I want you to see my bathrooms. Both small rooms had white ceramic tile floors and walls, white commodes, white swing-top waste cans, white sinks, gleaming chrome fixtures, and large mirrors above the sinks. Spotless, Arcadian said, talking fast, running his sentences together in his quiet anger. No streaks on the mirrors, no stains in the sinks. We check them after every customer uses them, disinfect them every day. You could eat off those floors and it would be as safe as eating off the plates from your own mother's kitchen. Looking at Jack over Arcadian's head, Luther smiled and said, I think I'll have a steak and a baked potato. What about you? Just a salad, Jack said. I'm trying to lose a few pounds. Even if he had been listening to them, Mr. Arcadian couldn't have been joked out of his bleak mood. He jangled a ring of keys. I keep them locked. Give the keys only to customers. City inspector stops around. He tells me a new rule says these are public facilities, so you've got to let them open for the public, whether they buy anything at your place or not. He jangled the keys again, harder, more angrily. Then harder still. Neither Jack nor Luther tried to comment above the strident ring and rattle. Let them fine me. I'll pay the fine. When these are unlocked, the drunks and junkie bums who live in alleys and parks, they use my bathrooms, urinate on the floor, vomit in the sinks. You wouldn't believe the mess they make. Disgusting. These things I'd be embarrassed to talk about. Ooh. Oh, well, something's going on here. Arcadian was actually blushing at the thought of what he could have told them. He waved the jingling keys in the air in front of each open door. And he reminded Jack of nothing so much as a voodoo priest casting a spell. In this case, to ward off the riffraff who would despoil his restrooms. His face was as mottled and turbulent as the stormy sky. He uses a lot of words I'm not used to, so I apologize if I mess some stuff up. Please, if you like this content, what I'm doing here, if you enjoy me reading stories I have around me for entertainment purposes while a beautiful game of Minecraft is being played, while I try very hard to see what's going on, and learn the game, the new game. This is the Minecraft Java, by the way. If you guys enjoy this, please let me know in the comments below. I'm actually having a good time doing this. And I've gotten comments that my silky smooth voice cannot be matched. Not even by Markiplier. I can't pull off a Markiplier impression. No, not my forte. Let's continue with the story. We still got about 10 minutes left. Let me tell you something. Hassad Arcadian works 60 and 70 hours a week. Hassam Arcadian employs 8 people full-time, and Hassam Arcadian pays half of what he earns in taxes. But Hassam Arcadian is not going to spend his life cleaning up vomit because a bunch of stupid bureaucrats have more compassion for some lazy, drunken, psycho-junkie bums. Wow. Than they have for people who are trying their damnedest to lead decent lives. He finished his speech in a rush, breathless. Stopped jangling the keys, sighed. He closed the doors and locked them. Jack felt useless. He could see that Luther was uncomfortable too. Sometimes a cop can do much more for a victim than nod in sympathy and shake his head in sorry amazement at the depths into which the city was sinking. Oh boy. That was one of the worst things about the job. Mr. Arcadian went around the corner in the front of the station again. To the front of the station again. Oh my god. He wasn't walking as fast as before. His shoulders were slumped, and for the first time he looked more dejected than angry, as if he had decided, perhaps on a subconscious level, to give up the fight. Jack hoped that wasn't the case. In his daily life, Hassam was struggling to realize a dream of a better future, a better world. He was one of the dwindling number who still had enough guts to resist entropy. Civilization soldier, warring on the side of hope, were already too few to make a satisfactory army. Adjusting their gun belts, Jack and Luther followed Arcadian past the soft drink dispensers. The man in the Armani suit was standing at the second vending machine, studying the selections. He was about Jack's age, tall, blonde, clean-shaven, with a golden bronze complexion that could have been gotten locally at that time of year only from a tanning bed. As they walked by him, he pulled a handful of change from one pocket of his baggy trousers and picked through the coins. Out at the pumps, the attendant was washing the windshield of the Lexus, though it had looked freshly washed when the car first pulled in from the street. I apologize. Sorry about that too. Arcadian stopped at the plate glass window that occupied half the front wall of the station office. Street art, he said softly, sadly, as Jack and Luther joined him. Only a fool would call it anything but vandalism. Barbarians are loose. Lately, some vandals had traded spray cans for stencils and acid paste. They etched their symbols and slogans on the glass of parked cars and the windows of businesses that were unprotected by security shutters at night. Arcadian's front window was permanently marred by half a dozen different personal marks made by members of the same gang. Some of them repeated 2 and 3 times. In 4-inch highlighters, they had also etched the words, "The bloodbath is coming." Ooh, dark. But then again, this is Dean Koontz we're talking about here. If you haven't listened or read one of his stories, please do so. They're good. These antisocial acts often reminded Jack of an event in Nazi Germany about which he'd once read. Before the war had even begun, psychopathic thugs had roamed the streets during one long night. Kristallnacht, defacing walls with hateful words, smashing windows of homes and stores owned by Jews, until the streets glittered as if paved with crystal. Sometimes it seemed to him that the barbarians to which Arcadian referred were the new fascists, from both ends of the political spectrum this time, hating not just Jews but anyone with a stake in social order and civility. Their vandalism was a slow-motion Kristallnacht, conducted over years instead of hours. "It's worst on the next window," Arcadian said, leading them around the corner to the north side of the station. We're still doing good, folks. Man, we're on page 11. This is awesome. That wall of the office featured another large sheet of glass on which, in addition to gang symbols, etched block letters proclaiming, oh boy, this is in the story, I don't mean this, Armenian shithead. That's what it says in the book. I'm not even joking. Even the sight of the racial slur couldn't rekindle Hassam Arcadian's anger. He stared sad-eyed at the offensive words and said, I've always tried to treat people well. I'm not perfect. Not without sin. Who is? But I've done my best to be a good man. Fair, honest, and now this. Won't make you feel any better, Luther said. But if it was up to me, the law would let us take the creeps who do this and stencil that second word right above their eyes. Shithead. Etch it into their skin and with acid just like they do to your glass. Make them walk around like that for a couple of years and see how their attitude improves before maybe we give them some plastic surgery. You think you can find who did it? Arcadian asked, though he surely knew the answer. Luther shook his head and Jack said, "Not a chance. We'll file a report, of course, but there's no manpower to work on small crime like this. Best thing you can do is install roll-down metal shutters the same day you replace the windows, so they're covered at night. Otherwise, you'll be putting in new glass every week," Luther said. "And pretty soon your insurance company will drop you." We have about 5 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have been enjoying what's been going on. I've been so ingrained in this story, I might just read this on my own. No, I probably won't do that because the next episode of Minecraft Creative, I'll be doing the same thing. And I hope you guys will enjoy it. Once again, if you guys haven't yet, please subscribe, click the bell, share this video with your friends. I'm trying my best here to make my channel as entertaining as humanly possible. I'm doing everything in my power. And if going back to doing these talks helps you guys and makes you happier with what I do, okay. This will be the new art channel that everyone goes to at some point in the future. Just have to grin and bear it and see what happens. Are you ready? Let's continue on. We got 4 minutes. Let's get going here. As I try to get rid of all that sand and, because I got too much. Alright. They already dropped my vandalism coverage after one claim, Hassam Arcadian said. But the only thing they'll cover me for now is earthquake, flood, and fire. Not even fire if it happens in a riot. They stood in silence, staring at the window, brooding about their powerlessness. A cool March wind sprang up. In the nearby planter, the queen palms rustled, and soft creaking noises arose from where the stems of the big fronds joined the trunks. "Well," Jack said at last, "it could be worse, Mr. Arcadian. I mean, at least you're in a pretty good part of the city here on the west side." "Yeah, and doesn't it break your heart?" Arcadian said. "This is a good neighborhood?" Jack didn't even want to think about it. Luther started to speak, but was interrupted by a loud crash and a shout of anger from the front of the station. As the three of them hurried around the corner, a violent gust of wind made the plate glass windows thrum. 50 feet away, the man in the Armani suit kicked the vending machine. Again. A foaming can of Pepsi lay behind him, contents spreading across the blacktop. "Poison!" he shouted at the machine. "Poison, damn it! Damn you! Damn you! Poison!" Arcadian rushed toward the customer. "Sir, please, I'm sorry. If the machine gave you the wrong selection." "Hey, wait right there," Luther said, speaking as much to the station owner as to the infuriated stranger. "In front of the office store. Oh, we're getting close here." Jack caught up with Arcadian, put a hand on his shoulder, stopped him, and said, "Better let us handle this." "But what's going to happen?" "We will leave right there." I am on page 13. A nice page to end on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this, please let me know by subscribing. We're in the last couple minutes here of this video, and I want to thank you guys for joining me on this journey. I hope this has been fun for you. I hope that you guys have enjoyed what I've been doing here, and a new art video is coming tomorrow. I'm going to create one just for you guys, just because I like you. And who knows? If things go well with this channel and you guys enjoy my content, I might even do a live chat in the future. I don't know how I'll do it, but I'm going to need you guys to help me get there, alright? And as we get to the last minute, I hope you guys really do appreciate everything I do. I try my hardest to make everything as entertaining as humanly possible. It's not easy, though. It never is. But I appreciate you and thank you for every step of the way. And I guess this is what we're going to be doing from now on for Minecraft Creative. We're going to be reading Dean Koontz, and I'm going to move on to other novels if you guys enjoy that type of content. Because honestly, during Minecraft videos, I have nothing to say. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.